I didn't want to start too early in case there's anybody coming in that's going to miss some of it, but people are kind of on time, so I can't believe how many people have turned up. I feel really well. It's really lovely. I've had such a lovely day. It's the first time I've been here. So I'm the Epic Life Coach, as you probably know from my flyer. And yeah, I've not been to a wellness festival before. I've not actually done a talk with my business. Yeah, I do a lot of Facebook Lives, but I haven't done anything like this, so I've been really looking forward to it. There's a couple of seats down here if anyone wants to take a seat. Oh, I've got full house, people! So I trained with a woman that some of you might have heard of. Her name's Marisa Peer. Hands up if you've heard of Marisa Peer. Fantastic woman, and literally she's my woman crush of life. I adore her. And during the training in rapid transformational therapy and rapid transformational coaching, I learned a load of little nuggets. And one of these nuggets was a huge thing for me personally, and it's something that I had never known before, and knowing it has changed the way that I perceive everything. So I'm going to share that with you today because I hope it will benefit you, because I've only got 25 minutes to serve you, basically. Hands up in the room if you had a childhood where you felt significant, worthy, loved and wanted for the majority of the time. A lot of us, we didn't have that experience, and as you know, a lot of childhood stuff always comes up to haunt us, and we don't like to talk about it, but we do need to talk about it. When children don't feel significant and like they matter, there's a real fear in every human being that we're going to be rejected. There's this feeling of I don't belong, I'm letting someone down, I'm not enough. And so I think that there might be people in this room that resonate with that feeling of not being good enough, not quite making the mark, not quite having my needs met, not quite feeling worthy. And when you're little, it's really hard. You know, you don't have the tools to work through that. So what we do is, if you don't feel significant in your family, you tend to take one of four roles. Here comes the nuggets. So the roles are, the first one is the role of the carer. So straight away I felt like a shift in the room. I thought, that's me, I'm a carer. And what that means is that when you're young, you look after your little brother, you help around the house, you are very kind to animals and kind to different people, and you get praise all of a sudden. Wow, she's so good, what a good girl, so loving, she's so like, what a lovely little sweetheart, looking after your brother, he's so good. And that feels so good to us as kids. You know, we're like, I'm noticed, people, I'm here. And it feels good, it fills our body with all this great stuff, and we're just like, oh, I loved that experience. And I'm going to make that into something that I do often. That's going to become part of my identity, because that really worked. And that goes back to like this primitive side of us, because when we were back in tribal times, when we were like cavemen and women, we never wanted to be rejected from the tribe. That was a real fear. If you were rejected from the tribe, you were going to die. You had to hunt together, you had to gather together. And so being the carer, becoming significant and having a role, you're never going to be pushed out of the tribe. You're needed, you're wanted. She's the carer. And so that's one of the roles that people take in order to feel significant. The next role is the brilliant one. Perfect one, the one who gets it all right, the one who just tops everything. You got that much, I got this much. You did that well, I did that well, I won. Overly competitive, always striving, pushing, has to be the best in whatever way. Could be academically, could be sports, could be looks, you know. It's very unsettling for someone who bases their identity around that, to have anybody else be in front of them or above them. It's a hard life to live. But if that's the only way that you were noticed when you were little, that you got straight A's, you know, she's so slim, she's so beautiful. Look how beautiful my daughter is. That's all I am. So I have to be the most beautiful. I have to be the slimmest, I have to be the best, I have to be the cleverest, to be the brilliant one, the golden child. Can do no wrong. But if you can do no wrong, and we're human beings and we all make mistakes, then what's going to happen when you make a mistake? Oh my gosh, it's going to really, really hurt. You've got to do everything in your power to avoid that. So that's the second role. The third role is the rebel. I smile because I know I'm a rebel. And they are the difficult ones. They are the ones that cause the problems. They are the ones that are causing drama. There's always a drama with them. There's always something going on. And hands up if anyone can relate, or anyone who knows a rebel in their life, who's got a rebel. Yeah, and you want to love them, but it's hard to love them, you know. And this is because it's the negative attention with kids. You all know that if a 2-year-old wants mum to look at, they start pushing something off the side, smash. She's looking at me now. It's that negative attention that you're striving for. That's the only way that mum's going to look at them. If you've got 5 kids running around and you're the oldest and all the older ones are getting the fuss and stamping their feet and they're looking at them, then you're going to have to stamp your feet much more. So that's the third role. And then the final role is the sick one. The sick one is the ill child, is the one who has the eczema and the one who has the cough and the headaches, because who comes running when you're sick? To put the flannel on your head, stroke you and stay with you and hug you and hold you and worry about you. Are you okay? My poor darling, is she okay? She's been alright today? Yeah, she's fine. You become the sick one, it becomes part of who you are, because that's how you get your needs met. All of these roles have been created by little genius children, clever little things that have worked out somehow that if I play this role, I get my needs met. If I don't, then I don't get my needs met. I'm just nothing, I'm no one, I'm worthless, I'm pointless. Can't reject the sick one, can't reject the brilliant one. They're brilliant. Go out and hunt, go out and gather, they're excellent. They're gathering the most berries, killing the most wildebeest, you know? And so those are the 4 roles. Who in this room relates to at least one of those roles? Hands in the air if you relate to a role. Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I'm here. I'm part of the wellness, you know, tribe, because I don't want to play a role. I want to be who I am, but I didn't even know who I was, because I was the sick one. Who else was the sick one, or still is the sick one, you know? The one who's just constantly, there's something not quite right with you. And I struggled with that so much when I was younger. I got diagnosed with scoliosis when I was 5. I had spinal operations when I was 11 and 12. I got hit by a car. I fell out of a tree. I broke my arm and my wrist. I had my appendix out. I was on crutches. I had a stroke. I had heart surgery. I win. But it's not, you know, but this is what I did. This is what I did. It was this charismatic victim. How charming she is. But I won you all round with this story, this role that I'm playing, you know? And I'm playing into it to make the point that I shouldn't have to go, oh, you know, I've had another blooming drama, I've got to go to hospital again, and I know people warm to me, oh, you poor thing, I give you sympathy. Sympathy's not love, it's sympathy, you know? And negative attention is not love, it's negative attention. But when we're young, we don't know that. All I knew is that out of the 3 kids in my family, my mum took me to my appointments, me and mum. If we go to my appointment, I don't care what they're probing me with, blood taken, I'm here with my mum, she's looking at me, they're talking about me, I'm important, I matter. Yes, I feel good now. And I needed more and more of that. It was like an addiction, because my mum was an 80s mum. And I noticed of you in the 80s, they just put you in front of a telly, gave some Dr. Pepper and let you get on with it. So I needed it. I was sensitive. I still am. I have a lot of feelings, you know. We've all got a lot of feelings in this room. I can feel them. I can feel your feelings. Some of you can feel mine, you know. We're very powerful and passionate beings. We need this from our caregivers and our parents. We need it when we're kids. So this is what I want to share with everyone that raised their hand and said, I'm playing this role, I'm doing this thing still now, and I'm 43, 67, whatever age you are, is that I want you to know that you can put that down now. You don't have to do that anymore. Because when we're young, we really need it. If our parents aren't looking after us, there is a high possibility you'll die. You can't make your own food and, you know, 2- and 3-year-olds running around independent, driving their cars and whatever. No, you need to be put to bed and washed and cared for. And so we create this role because kids are so clever, so brilliant, but then that gets stuck there because you didn't even know you did it. I did not know I had become the sick one for that reason, because I wanted my mum and my dad to love me more. I didn't know that. I didn't have a clue. Subconscious. And so I've had to suffer. I've had to suffer. And I know that when you say the sick one and it's physical, that suffering is really tangible, but you've all suffered. Just because mine is scars doesn't mean it's any worse than your suffering. The rebel often becomes an addict. The difficult one often becomes an addict. They just do not feel that they are good enough. So they always need more, they need more, they need more to become worthy. They have to play this role. Because if they don't, and someone rejects them, if they're not the difficult one anymore, they're just them, and someone rejects them, that is crushing. If they're an addict, if they're the difficult one, and someone rejects them, they're rejecting me because of my addiction, because I'm difficult, because I'm playing this role. They're rejecting the part, they're not rejecting me, they can't reject me. So there's a lot of vulnerability that comes with shifting that role, because that means I'm out in the world, no longer the sick one. So now I have to just charm you all as myself. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. I've never done that before. I've always been the victim, self-deprecating. Oh, I'll probably trip over in a minute and hit my head. Oh, isn't she cute? What is that? That's not who I am though. Like, that's not me. But that feels safe to me, because if you go, oh, what an idiot, I'm like, I'm safe. Because you're not judging who I actually am. But it sounds like a good thing to be protected, to have that bubble around you. But there are so many negatives that come with the roles that we play. The carer is overburdened, can't say no, no boundaries. You know, end up codependent because my needs are not important. It's all about you. Are you okay? Are you okay? Oh, don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. And it's crushing. It's crushing to be in a narcissistic, codependent relationship because it's gone that far that I have to please everybody else first and never me. What a way to live. And there are so many carers, I'm sure, in this room, because I can just feel the energy of you all. And such beautiful hearts, such lovely people. You deserve to be prioritised and to feel like you matter and that you are enough without doing everything for everyone else. But the fear is, if I stop being the carer, if I stop looking after everyone, is anyone going to love me? I don't know. I've never tried, and I'm worried that they're not going to, and I'm going to be rejected. I'm going to be abandoned, I'm going to be left on my own. Oh, it's heartbreaking. Let's just keep doing what we're doing, keep going and going and going, and then slowly but surely we implode. Over time, it just gets too much. I can't do it anymore. And it's when all the aches and the pains and the crying for no reason and the wanting to stay at home all the time and not wanting to socialise, and I don't want to be involved in that, and I don't want to do that, and I don't want to go to work, I just can't take it anymore. Okay, I can't take it anymore. Because your soul is crying out, but what about me though? What about me? It is hard. It's hard even being a human being, you know, and I stand up here now and I had a bit of everything. And I don't know if anybody else who's particularly tricky is like, I think I've got all four. But yeah, and exactly, because when you've had one role, you can shift. You can move from one role to another. And often if somebody moves away from addiction, somebody's worked so hard to get themselves out of being an addict. And then there they are, and oh my God, I feel sick in the world, I feel vulnerable. What do I have to do now? I'm going to start being caring. I'm going to care for everyone. I'm going to be a good person. Now I was so bad. I was very, very bad, and now I need to be good, good, good. And help everyone. You're still empty. You still feel like people aren't just going to love you unconditionally because your parents let you down. Either on purpose or not on purpose. I know as parents, we'll make mistakes sometimes. But there is a way that you can move through this, and it is recognising I'm playing a part. I am not this person. I don't need to be this. Do I? Do I still need to do this? Because I don't need my mum and dad's love anymore. It's nice to have. It's nice to have love, but I don't need it. I did then, but I don't now. That's quite strong. That's quite strong and powerful. I like that. That makes me feel independent. That makes me feel powerful. We always say in relationships, you can't need the person. You know, you don't want to be a needy partner, but you're kind of doing that in your relationship with your parents without even knowing that you're doing it. It's like there's this need to be loved by everyone. And it's all triggered from this childhood where your needs weren't met. Knowing that you now meet your own needs and that everything that you want is available to you, you know, you can carve out your own beautiful life and make yourself feel significant for who you are, for your passions and what you bring to the table naturally, you know? And that's such a wonderful thing, because then you're going to feel so different, you're going to feel lifted. All of that pain and all of those emotions and all of that heartache and all of that feeling separate from who you are, questioning yourself, that's all going to kind of just dissipate as you step into your power and who you actually really are, who you would have been had you just been cultivated in that loving way and told you are good enough, I promise you're amazing, you are unloved unconditionally, and everything about you is amazing, and you can do anything, and you can have anything, and I'm proud of you. So many people come and talk to me, and it breaks my heart that they've never heard anything other than criticism. They've never, ever, ever been praised. It almost feels uncomfortable to them because I'm so, you know, over the top with it. I'm like, you're amazing. You are amazing. In fact, you're even here is a miracle. You were brought here for a reason. You're important, you matter, you're significant, and it's just too much. They can't take it. They're like, no, not me. I can't listen to this. This is overwhelming. It's the truth, though. That's what your soul is seeking all the time. Is why is this? Why am I feeling like this? Because I know deep down I am worth it. Really, really deep down, underneath all the layers of I'm not, it's knowing that you are, which is why it's so uncomfortable. She's giving me away. She's saying I've only got 5 minutes. I can talk for hours. Where are you going? Oh, okay. So the fact we've only got a couple of minutes, like 5 minutes left, I don't want to run over because I don't know who's next, but I hope I kind of said something worthwhile for you, something that helps in some way, and it's going to be a good thing, I think, as a mum, I analyse my 6-year-old fairly often, and I kind of check in with her. I don't ask her anything because she's only young, but I think to myself, is she playing a role right now? Is she sick too much? Is she caring too much? Is she being rebellious, you know? And if the answer is not particularly, she seems quite balanced, then I feel like I'm doing the right thing, that I'm making her feel significant for being who she is. Balanced and level, not extreme in any way. And I'm doing a good job as a mum. So that's just an extra little thing for the parents out there. It's a nice little tool to have in your back pocket. You know, if you notice any particular rebellious behaviour, you know, like 2 and 3-year-olds can be little buttheads and they don't have their voice, so they can't tell you. And my sister's got a 3-year-old and she'll say, "Are you looking for connection?" And she goes, she picks her up and holds on to her. That's what she wants. She's a very loving little girl, and she goes and pushes stuff off the side, and then she's like, "Do you need a little hug?" "Yes, okay." Come on then, because that's what they do. But we are just highly evolved versions of ourselves, always looking for connection, always looking for love. But just, I want you to know that you don't have to play a role. It's not your job to care for everyone. It's not your job to be difficult. It's not your job to be the sick one. Like, how lovely to be able to just take that off and not do that anymore. I'm just not going to do that anymore. I know that I'm loved without that. I know that. I love myself without that. I've got people in my life I've chosen to be in it because they love me unconditionally. And I don't need any of that stuff anymore. So I just wanted to leave you with that. And if anybody's got any questions, or if anyone wants to talk to me after, then I'm out there and I'll be in here for a bit. And yes, thank you very much for listening.